With Season 5 here, we need to go in and make sure we update our settings. And of course, I don't know why Call of Duty does this, but they went in and changed settings back to default as well. So we're going to go ahead and set those together. And there's a couple changes in here we need to make. So we're going to start with controller. Obviously, we're going to go default. Horizontal stick sensitivity. If you guys know me, been following me a while, I do 1.5 and a 1.7. 1.5 is left and right, 1.7 is up and down. I like to go a little bit faster on 1.7. All right, so simplified control preset off, low motor strain preset off, bumper ping off, swap off. I do controller vibration off. You don't need to be shaking our controller when you're trying to fight an enemy. That is insane. Turn those off. Now you want to go make sure on your dead zones though that you do test these, because look at this, they set this back to default. I don't know why, but is 10-10, 13-13 is not what you want. You want your left stick at 5 and you want your right stick at 5 and you want your left stick max at 70, because you want that to activate faster than your right stick. It gives you a faster quick to motion. Your left triggers, you don't want those on 13 because that's a delay when you shoot your weapons. So let's go put those right back down. I usually put mine, down to right around 5. I think that's a good marker right there, just in case you don't want mishaps and stuff like that. So we got all our controller settings set up on our dead zones. Then you want to go over into aiming and your sense multiplier. The only thing I change here is my ADS sense multiplier. I like to go down to a 0.85. So when I'm tracking left to right and I'm aiming in, that gives me a nice fluid, smooth motion. So 0.85. Look inversion on foot, standard. Aiming in advanced settings. And then you want to go in to change some of this. So ADS sensitivity transition timer, you do not want gradual, you want instant. Third party assist correction type, you want assist. And then you want to change your aim response curve type to dynamic. And then click it open and make sure your slope scale is at 1.0. I don't do any custom sensitivity per zoom because I don't think you need to get this deep into the settings and change all that. You can if you like, but that's not something I use. Then we're going to make sure target aim assist is on and ADS aim assist is on. Now let's go into movement. Tactical sprint assist is good. We want that. Then we want show more and we want sprint assist delay at 0. You don't want any delay. You know, why would you want a delay? No delay. And then we're going to do sprint assist sideways on, sprint assist backwards on, manual assist off, crouch assist off, quarter slicing is on. I do like this going left and right. It doesn't affect your aim at all, but I do like it. Now, slide and dive behavior. You know me, I am going to go to hybrid. Now, hybrid is tap only to slide and then tap while holding sprint when input to dive. I'm not a diver much, but it does help. So I do hybrid to get best of both. Then I go in and I turn automatic airborne mantle on off. Sprint restore, you want on. Slide maintain sprint, you want on. Free fall for parachute, you don't want it to always open for you. Mantle cancels reload, yes, leave that on. Now go to movement advanced settings, and there's a couple in here that you want to take a look at. So auto move forward, that's not going to be for you. We want to go grounded mantle on. That does auto move you over the mantle system, and it works pretty well. Tactical sprint activation, you're going to want single tap sprint. Make sure your door bash is on. All right, then we're going to go down to vehicle advanced settings. And we're going to make sure we have driver control, aim-based control, short delay, free look, and lean out activation. Sometimes those get switched up. I don't know why, but they do. Now go over to combat settings, and you want to make sure you have prioritizing finishing move over prioritizing body shield. Because what happens is you're trying to do a finishing move and you accidentally grab it and then you get killed by the buddy and you don't want to do that. Apply all for armor plates, C4 detonation all at once. You want to make sure your manual fire is pressed. Go into combat's advanced settings, and there's a couple things here you want to do. So weapon mount at exit, you want instant. You don't want a short delay. You want to prioritize interact. You want sprint cancels reload off, not on that. You don't want a lot of things canceling your reload. Akimbo behavior independent, ADS stick swap off, and then depleted ammo switch on. I turn that off. I don't want it switching weapons with me. I'll switch the weapon when I want to switch the weapon. I don't want the game doing a lot of things for me. So then that is under your controller settings. Now let's go to graphics. So gamma brightness, I've been getting a lot of questions on gamma brightness. I run mine at 55 to 60, usually right in between those. I like a little bit of a vibrant green. 58 works great. Eco, you don't just turn that off. You don't need any of that. Now go over to quality. World motion blur is going to be off. Weapon motion blur is going to be off. And then I do my Fidelix cast on, but I do 90. Now test your system. I have on my console, I do 90. I like it a little bit sharp. On-demand texture streaming, I do optimize. It downloads an additional high texture quality, so then I get a better game experience. You'll see it looks a lot better. Don't mess with any of the settings here. Now the view. Motion reduction preset, don't mess with any of that. Field of view, I've done a few videos on this, but make sure your field of view is 110 to 120. I prefer 110. It's a nice sweet spot because it makes that person a little bit bigger. Their hitbox for the aim assist feels a little bit bigger with rotational aim assist, and I like pulling them in a little bit closer. Anything bigger than that, anything more than anything less than 110, your camera can get broken. People sliding around you, so 110 is where you want to be. ADS field of view affected. Weapon field of view wide. Third person field of view 90. Vehicle, I always do wide. I want as big as I can see. First person camera movement, at least 50%. You don't want it shaking everywhere. Same with third person. Same with third person there. And then you want third person on your fill right there. All right, now we're gonna go to audio settings. Now I do master game volume very low. I don't wanna really hear it. Dialogue, I do wanna hear, and effects I wanna hear. Cinematic, turn that off. If you have this on, you're losing gunfights because of it. Now there are two camps. So you have Treyarch Mix and Sucker Punch. I'm a big Sucker Punch fan. I think it helps hear footsteps a ton better. I would really encourage you to do Sucker Punch. Then we're gonna go ahead and not mess with these. Leave these off, off, and off. Don't configure any of this. I reduce the sound from concussion. And flash grenades. It's just my preferred. I like classic hit marker preset. Go over to your voice chat. Make sure all this is on. Headset. Make sure your microphone levels are all dialed in as well. Now interface. This is where you're gonna make the game pop a little bit. So there's a couple things in here. So you want to make sure gameplay tips, you're going to want those off. You don't want them all up in your face when you're trying to play. You can skip kill cam. I don't do that. Tool tips, I turn off. You don't need that on. Server latency, you don't need any of this stuff. It doesn't matter. And then you want to go over to readability. And here is where I change a couple things over here for me that I really like to do. Is color customization. I really want to see better things on here. And let me move my camera for you guys so you can see a little bit of what the colors would look like. So I'm gonna move my camera here, but pay attention to right below my head in these colors as they change. So this is the default color palette right here. Now watch it change. See how they change to Protonopia, if I can't pronounce the word, Deuteronomia, Apobia, Triptonia, whatever. I'm actually colorblind and I can't say these words. I prefer a little bit of brighter. So I usually do Pro or Do. You mess around with it what you like. I'm gonna go Do. Then I go to myself and I always choose bright yellow because that is so easy to see. I choose my team a bright blue because I can see blue, so much easier to see. Then I go down to color filters and I choose filter 2. That's one you're gonna want. It makes it pop. I don't want it just on the interface. I want it both, and I want it 100% turned up. Let's jack that up. It gets you the best colors you can see in the game. So that is gonna make it pop for you, make it look nice and clear and easy to see on that mini map. So go to gameplay HUD. I go obviously square here for the mini map rotation, and then on, and then on radar off, compass type horizontal, map assist auto center. This is a new setting this season that they keep tweaking. It's really nice. So you can auto zoom and center. So auto center is just center, like centers to the screen. Auto center means it opens and then in auto zoom center, opens and then zooms down and then centers. And then zoom and center once, centers once, and then off. I can't pronounce anything today. I go with auto, zoom, and centered. I really like that. You can turn on your tac sprint stamina bar. That is new as well. You can display it near your health or near your crosshair. I don't need it. I do it off. I do the in-game text on, full name. And here's another setting too. Buy station closes when damaged. So think about this. If you have this on and you get shot at the buy station, the auto close so you can back out instead of you having to hit the button. It's really nice. You can do the weapon inspect attachment info on or off. I don't know why you would turn that off. Kill duration is normal. Now crosshair is big here. So you want the crosshair dot on. See it, let me move my camera one more time for you guys so you can see it here. But you want to do it on, and then see at the left and right of my screen above my head, you can see the dots, right? So center dot scale, we want default, but we want largest. See at the example there, the far right is the largest. Then you want the biggest spread, then you want the biggest opacity, but you don't want it white. You want to pick a color that stands out. I do yellow, and you can see it stands out against that target, but it gives you a good target to pick on what you want. You can do red, you can do any color that you think is better. I do yellow, it helps, it makes me see a little bit better. Hit marker visuals, you're gonna want that on. Damage based hit markers on, and then you have your mini map opacity and all of that. Now, a couple things we didn't touch on is the quick settings. So you can star these so you can come back to them and change them quickly unless you want to unstar them. It just goes in here, you hit Y for unstar and it takes it away, but you can find the settings that you use the most. I have color customization, voice chat volume, master game volume, which I need to turn down, and then field of view, things that I use all the time, which I don't really need the vibration, but that is going to give you the settings you're going to need, and that will set you up right and proper. And hey guys, if you have a second and you really enjoy videos from me, go ahead, check out this video right here where I'm giving you 14 tips that you can steal from pros in Warzone. And if you have a second, hit subscribe, turn notifications on, because I'm always here to help you and the community move forward. All right guys, I'll catch you in more in season 5.